I wish to declare this reconvened special meeting of Council open at 6 p.m. I welcome councillors, members of the public. We also have Ron Carey, Freeman of the City, with us again this evening. Welcome, Ron. Into the chambers and the public gallery, and those watching on the meeting via the live stream. I would also like to welcome Harry Tyso, JP, who is with us this evening and will assist us during the meeting. So welcome, Harry, as well. As the office of the Mayor has not been filled, as the CEO, I'm required to preside at this meeting in accordance with Clause 3 of Schedule 2.3, Division 1 of the Local Government Act. When the election of the Mayor has concluded, the Mayor will continue as the presiding member over this meeting. So just a reminder to people that the meeting is being live streamed and the recording will be made available upon the City's website. No electronic, visual or audio recordings or transmitting device or instrument is permitted to be used by any member of the public. A person who breaches this provision of the City of Swan Meeting Procedures Local Law 2019 will be required to immediately leave the premises. So attendance and apologies, councillors. I have everyone in attendance, so no apologies received. On to the election of the Mayor. So yesterday, during the election of the Mayor, there was a variance in the number of the votes cast compared to the number of councillors within the council chamber. As the CEO, I determined to seek an adjournment of the meeting to obtain advice in relation to this variance. I'm now in a position to declare the result of the election of the Mayor. The declaration of the results. I'm required to declare the results of the election at this meeting, including the names of the candidates and the name and term of office of the candidate elected. So the candidates were Councillor Lucas, 7 votes. Councillor Zanino, 6 votes. 1 vote did not indicate a vote for a candidate and 1 vote was not cast. I therefore declare that Councillor Lucas is being elected as the Mayor of the City of Swan through until the 21st of October 2023. Following the meeting, councillors, local public notice will be given of the election of the result, and all voting material, the ballot papers, etc., will be kept safe in custody and retained for a period of 4 years. I would now like to ask Harry Tyso, JP, to come up and witness the declaration of office with our newly elected Mayor, Councillor Lucas.
I, David Charles Lucas, of 31 McAllister Way, Beachborough, having been elected to the office of Mayor of the City of Swan, declare that I will take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil those duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the code of conduct adopted by the City of Swan under section 5.104 of the Local Government Act, declared at the Midland Town Hall Tuesday the 19th of October 2021.
Thank you, Harry. So, councillors, I'd now like to hand over to Mayor Lucas to preside over the meeting.
Thank you, councillors. The next item on the agenda is the election for the Deputy Mayor. And under section 2.15 of the Local Government Act, The office of Deputy Mayor is to be filled in accordance with Schedule 2.3, Division 2 of the Local Government Act. The election of the Deputy Mayor is to be the next matter dealt with after the Mayor has been elected, and that's been done. And I've requested the CEO to conduct the election. The election is to be conducted in accordance with the procedures prescribed by myself under Schedule 2.3, Division 2 and Schedule 4.1 of the Local Government Act. At this point, I'll hand over to the CEO and advise him that I've withdrawn my nomination for the position of Deputy Mayor. Thank you, Mr CEO.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. At this point in time, I have received 3 nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor in writing, and those are from Councillor Catalano, Councillor Congerton and Councillor Kiley. I call for any other nominations from the floor. So with there being no other nominations, I now declare that the nomination has closed. So Regulation 11A of the Local Government Constitution Regulations 1998 states that the CEO is to cause the ballot papers to be printed so that the names of the candidates appear on the ballot paper, either in alphabetical order or in such order as determined using a method selected by the CEO, which is fair to all of the candidates. I've decided to list the names of the candidates on the ballot papers in alphabetical order. This seems to me to be a fair and equitable means of determining the ballot paper order. The staff will now prepare the ballot papers, and the ballot papers will be prepared in accordance with Form 10, Local Government Elections Regulations 1997, Schedule 1. Before the ballot papers are issued by me, I will sign the back of each paper to ensure the ballot paper is authenticated in accordance with Clause 11B of the Local Government Constitution Regulations 1998. If the councillors that have nominated for the position of Deputy Mayor would like to speak to the council for 5 minutes, then this process can occur now, and we will do that in the alphabetical order as listed on the ballot paper. So, Councillor Catalano, would you like to address the councillors?
Yes, thank you. As Deputy Mayor, I will fulfil the role to represent the best interests of the whole community. I'm totally independent of any political party. I've got no other allegiances to anyone or any other organisation other than the community itself. Now, we all know that the City of Swan community is very diverse, not just in its cultural mix, but also in terms of the many different residents and commercial and business interests, rural interests. And that's where the challenge arises for this council and for the leadership of this council arises. And as the Deputy Mayor, I would take that challenge very seriously. So I believe that because of that diversity, the adversarial style and approach needs to be changed, because it only leaves one winner. In fact, we have to have winners throughout our community. Everyone has to benefit, at least from the decisions that we make. So I would like to bring to this council a new leadership approach that I hope will also positively affect and influence the work of the city in meeting the needs of all of the community. And I believe this new approach should be based on cooperation, collaboration, consultation, that works to produce something of a win for everyone, and that decisions need to be based on reason. That means embracing diverse perspectives and needs, and that means listening to diverse perspectives and needs. This then will empower our communities to come to us with a respectful and trustful approach that we in turn will be able to mirror back to them. Empowered communities actually makes our role on council as councillors, but our leadership role and my role, if I was to be elected as the Deputy Mayor, easier. Empowered communities stand up for their community assets and to protect their community assets. And that's what we need, because we are entering an era of massive and enormous challenges. And everybody has to come along with us to find creative solutions that meets the needs of everyone. We cannot afford to leave everyone behind. And that requires creative leadership, and that's what I intend to bring to the position of Deputy Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Catalano. Councillor Congerton, would you wish to speak for 5 minutes?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr Mayor and councillors. Just by way of background, I've spent nearly 17 years as a councillor with a 4-year break in between. And during that time, I spent 2 terms as the Deputy Mayor. I stepped down from that role to take on another challenge with the state government, which I maintained that for a 10-year period. I see the role as the Deputy Mayor is to ensure there is support for the Mayor. There is support and dialogue amongst the councillors, support and dialogue amongst the staff, and very importantly, dialogue with our community. In the last 17 years, I've been on no less than 40 committees. I still am today on 6 non-for-profit organisations and a couple of for-profit organisations. On average, I've spent 244 meetings a year of my time towards council and these committees. So I think my dedication to duty has been shown by my efforts. I've also received a number of awards from WALGA, an Eminence Award being one of them. I was also given the Honorary Freemanship of the City, which is a high honour order, as you're well aware of. It's very important to me that whoever sits at the top of that table delivers appropriate and good governance. And I think I've shown that over the past. So I hope that you take the time to vote for me for the position as Deputy Mayor, and I promise I won't let you down. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Congerton. Councillor Kiley, would you like to address the Council for up to 5 minutes?
Nothing to say, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kiley. I now wish to outline the voting procedure. Councillors are to vote on the election of the Deputy Mayor by secret ballot, as if they were electors voting at an election. A councillor is to cast his or her vote by marking the ballot paper by placing a tick in the box opposite the name of the candidate whom the councillor wishes to be elected. I request that all councillors use the black pens provided to mark their preference on the ballot paper, which should be folded twice so that the secrecy of the ballot is maintained. Provision is made for replacement of spoilt ballot papers if required. The marked ballot papers will then need to be placed in the ballot box, and the ballot box is at the end of the table. Councillors are required to place their individual ballot in the ballot box. However, councillors, you are to remain seated after you have cast your vote, and I will call each councillor forward individually to place the ballot in the ballot box. I will now distribute the ballot papers for councillors to mark the ballot. So, councillors, I will now call the names. Sorry. So, I'm not used to you sitting next to me, Councillor Lucas. So, councillors, I will now call forward councillors' names to then place their ballot within the ballot box. Councillor Bowman. Councillor Catalano. Councillor Congerton. Councillor Henderson. Councillor Howlett. Councillor Johnson. Councillor Jones. Councillor Kiley. Councillor Knight. Councillor Lucas. Councillor McCulloch. Councillor Parry. Councillor Predovnik. Councillor Richardson. Councillor Zanino. Councillors, the following is how I will count the votes. Mr Harry Tyso, JP, and Ms Valerie Hodgkins, Legal Specialist, will assist me in counting of the votes and to act as the independent scrutineers and auditors during the count, and I will read out the vote of each ballot paper as they are counted. The candidate with the highest number of votes will be declared the winner in accordance with Clause 2 of Schedule 4.1. If after counting all the votes, two or more candidates receive the greatest number of votes and there is an equal number of votes, I will detail the procedure to be undertaken at that point in time. I'll now go and read out the votes. Councillors, I'll just close the ballot box. So one vote, Councillor Congerton. One vote, Councillor Congerton. One vote, Councillor Catalano. One vote, Councillor Congerton. One vote, Councillor Catalano. One vote, Councillor Congerton. One vote, Councillor Congerton. One vote, Councillor Kiley. One vote, Councillor Congerton. One vote, Councillor Kiley. One vote, Councillor Catalano. One vote, Councillor Congerton. One vote, Councillor Kiley. One vote, Councillor Catalano. One vote, Councillor Catalano. Can I have your results? So the declaration of the result, councillors, I'm required to declare the results of the election at this meeting, including the names of the candidates and the name and the term of office of the candidates elected. The candidates were Councillor Catalano, 5 votes. Councillor Congerton, 7 votes. Councillor Kiley, 3 votes. I declare that Councillor Congerton is being elected as the Deputy Mayor of the City of Swan through until 21 October 2023, and following the meeting, a local public notice will be given of the result of the election, and all voting materials, ballot papers, etc. will be kept in a safe place in custody and retained for a period of 4 years. I would now like to ask our JP Harry Tyso to witness the declaration of office by the newly elected Deputy Mayor, Councillor Congerton. Andrew, do you want to turn that one off?
I, Melvin Paul Congerton of 22 Lakeshore Close in Balladura, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of the City of Swan, declare that I will take the office for myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the Code of Conduct adopted by the City of Swan under Section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995. Thank you.
Bring that chair up. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, councillors. The next item on the agenda is public question time, and questions to relate only to the purpose of this meeting under clause regulation 7(4)(b) of the Local Government Administration Regulations 1996. Is there any member of the public gallery wish to ask a question? Being no questions at this point, we'll move on to the next item in the agenda, and that is the allotment of positions at the council table. Under the City of Swan Meeting Procedures Local Law 2019, Part 4, Clause 4.1, at the first meeting after each election day, the council is to allot positions at the council table to each member, and each member is to occupy that position at each council meeting. There are no statutory requirements for how this process is conducted, and positions can be allocated in a number of ways. Once seating has been agreed by council, it will be set for 2 years unless council resolves otherwise. The positions could be allocated in the following manner. A. Such councillors sit together by their ward, council, alphabetically around the table both by ward and by council surname. B. On an individual basis by drawing names from a hat along with a position at the table. C. By names drawn from a hat for order of preference for any position at the table. Or D. By any other basis approved by council. It is recommended that councillors sit together with their ward councillors alphabetically around the table, both by ward and by council surname. And Mr CEO, I believe we have a motion from Councillor Henderson.
Through you, Mr Mayor, we had an indication from Councillor Bowman that he wanted to pass a motion or raise a motion in relation to this, and also Councillor Henderson with an actual motion received via email.
Thank you. We've got an actual motion, so I'm going to rule. If you haven't submitted your motion, Councillor Bowman?
I can submit it now. I wasn't aware that I had to get in first, Mr Mayor.
Okay. Can you advise me, Mr CEO, when councillors made their intentions known to you?
Through you, Mr Mayor, Councillor Bowman made the request first but didn't actually submit one, but as a new councillor would probably not be aware of the process.
Okay, and I accept that advice. So, Councillor Bowman, I'll deal with your motion first. If you can read that, if you've got it prepared, thank you. And I'll then get the minute clerk to put it on the screen so we can all see what the motion is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and thank you for your latitude as a new councillor. I would like to move the following motion, that the seating positions be allocated in alphabetical order of ward and then by councillor's surname, starting with the Altone ward on the Mayor's left, and number 2, that the Deputy Mayor not be allocated the seat at the head table, instead the Manager of Governance to be situated in this position. And Mr Mayor, I request that both these items be put separately.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Kiley, the seconder. Is there anyone against? There is. Do you wish to debate it, Councillor Henderson?
Question. I understand that Councillor Bowman said that these two things are being dealt with separately, so are we dealing first?
We'll first of all deal with the alphabetical seating by ward, and if that motion is passed, then we'll deal with the fact that the Deputy Mayor is not to sit to my immediate left, but the Manager of Governance. Is that how I understand? Because it's not on the board yet, so I'm...
We're just getting them up, Mr Mayor.
Well, to the left. Now, wants to move those two items individually.
So mover and second for each one. Yeah. So deal with one. You've got Bowman and Kylie.
So, point 1 is move Councillor Bowman, seconded Councillor Kylie. We'll deal with that item first.
Mr. Mayor, can we review Councillor Henderson's as well, as we normally have that given to us as well, so we can have a look at it, please? Thank you.
I think that's fair and reasonable because both of these motions have not been presented to councillors before to consider the differences between the two. And I think just as I gave Councillor Bowman a leniency to move his motion first, it would, unless Councillor... So it's on the screen, councillors, if you can read that, thank you. So if I can just clarify, Councillor Henderson, your motion is that councillors are seated together by ward, but not necessarily by alphabetical order. Is that correct?
Per Councillor Bowman's second part of his motion, in terms of the deputy with you, I don't support that. So
or deal with point 1 first.
I'll resolve it. Thank you.
So, councillors, and I don't know if it's if you can do it, Danica, but can you put both motions up there? I'll let councillors have about 30 seconds to read both motions, and then I'll be putting Councillor Bowman's motion. And we can have debate on it if you wish. Has everyone had the opportunity to read the two motions? Was that a yes or a no, Councillor Barry?
Councillor Henderson's now, so we've had 30 seconds on.
Okay, I had a indication there's councillors against, or at least one councillor against your motion, Councillor Bowman, who wishes to debate it. So you have 5 minutes. Thank you. Question, Councillor Kylie, before we start.
What is the officer's recommendation?
The officers didn't have a recommendation. It's to be determined by council.
Will the Mayor be seeking a further alternative motion if these are unsuccessful?
Well, that's up for council to decide. If there's another motion put forward during debate, you can foreshadow an alternative motion.
I will foreshadow an alternative if these are
Okay, well, let's
unsuccessful.
get into the debate first. Councillor Richardson, before we start, a question?
Question, Mr Mayor. Can you just reiterate which position of which ward will go down which side?
Well, I'll ask Councillor Bowman because it's his motion. Thank you, Councillor Bowman.
Mr Mayor, just a question before I start. Do you want me to debate both items at the same time?
No, I actually debate item 1, and the question from Councillor Richardson was, can you just clarify for everyone, I take it to be that starting on my immediate left would be the Altone ward, followed by the Balladura ward. Sorry, Whiteman ward. Sorry, my mistake. Old habits die hard. And when we get to the end of that side of the table, Councillor Bowman, do we then start alphabetically from the front again, or do we continue from the rear of the table? But you can mention that in your debate. So, councillors, I think it's time to start the debate, and I'll invite you, Councillor Bowman, to start, and you'll have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I've proposed this motion for a number of reasons. First, as you probably look around the council chambers, the 3 new councillors seem to have gravitated together. And so one of the things I suggest is that it would be nice that we were immersed in between the more experienced councillors to help us along our way for issues like this. The second thing, Mr Mayor, is this council needs to come together. Whether you like an individual or not, I think we need to all respect each other. We need to work together, and especially in our wards, we need to work together. I think sitting together in our wards where we can discuss issues will be a lot more helpful to this council and to the individual councillors, especially the new ones. Mr Mayor, the motion would propose that it would be the Altone ward, following on with the Midland Guildford ward, the Pearce ward, continuing in a clockwise condition, would be the Swan Valley ward, finishing up with the Whiteman ward, obviously by alphabetical order.
No, it's only 1 minute, so if you've got any more, you finish your debate. A seconder in Councillor Kiley.
Won't be speaking, thank you.
Thank you. Speakers against the motion. Councillor Henderson, you'll have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Councillors, I think part of my debate has already come from Councillor Bowman. What I want to do is I want to see us agree, all of us work together, and I think my motion that I'm proposing achieves that. It's not a matter of alphabetical, it's a matter of can we work together. To me, if we can put this motion aside and move on to the next step, we can then say, okay, let's have 3, 2, 4, whatever it is, working together. But in doing so, let's say how we want to do that ourselves. It's up to us to work together. And for me, it's very important that we do that. There's no real reason to do things alphabetically because that's just too random. I want everyone to be able to work it out themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker for the motion. Speaker against the motion. Any other speakers for or against the motion?
I've got a question.
Question, Councillor Johnson.
Given the situation we've got where the Pearce ward is going to find itself split up around the table, which if we're following the alphabetical approach and having heard some rationale about why that may or may not be a good thing, but it is inevitable using this process, would it be possible then to consider an amendment? I've already started talking, so I won't be able to amend. Someone else could consider moving an amendment to allow the Pearce ward councillors to choose something other than alphabetical seating, because I think that might be to their advantage. Otherwise, we'll find Councillor Bowman is sat just there, and it's entirely possible that next to the Midland Guildford ward councillors, it might be possible another Pearce ward councillor would like to sit in that position. So I think I'm happy to accept this, but I would prefer that if someone else wants to move it, that Pearce would be allowed to choose their seating within the group of 4, which will be split across the end of the table. So I just want to point out that issue, which is quite important.
Thank you. Speaker for or against the motion? What's your amendment, Councillor Richardson? So if you could just read your amendment from the screen to make sure it's correct and so everyone understands it. Thank you.
So my amendment is Councillor Richardson to be seated next to the Midland Guildford ward on the end of the right side. To my left. To the Mayor's left.
Thank you. If we can just change that to the left side of the Mayor. Do I have a seconder for that amendment?
To order, Mr.
Seconded, Councillor Catalano. What's your point of order, Councillor Johnson?
Was anyone against?
Well, I'm just asking that. You jumped in a little bit too. I had to call for a seconder first. So is there anyone against that amendment? There is. You wish to debate it? Okay. There is a against. So, Councillor Richardson, you've got 5 minutes to discuss your amendment, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. As we go around and look at individual choices of seating plans, I accept that that's Councillor Bowman's motion, but I'll leave mine as is, which is that there will be one person split up, and I'm happy to take that position.
Thank you. Second to Councillor Catalano.
Yes, thanks. I just don't see any reason why we can't allow this. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just about making one small amendment. You know, let's just do it and then move on.
Thank you. Speaker against the motion, Councillor Bowman.
There may not be just one Pearce Ward councillor sitting in that corner spot. There may be two, depending on the second motion and what the outcome of that is. Mr Mayor, the motion, and I'm not going to talk about the substantive motion because I've still got that on the table, the reason for alphabetical order and by surname, so there is no choices. We don't want a perception in the community that certain people don't, or certain councillors don't want to sit next to other councillors. That is not a good look. We need to all work together. We need to all get on together. And if we can't sit together, how are we actually going to function as a council? Moving forward, we need to do this. And that's why I do not support this amendment of one minor change, because where will it go then? Will it be another change when someone has a disagreement in 6 months, when two ward councillors are disagreeing about an item? Will it be 12 months? So let's please put a process in place now that is very simple, very straightforward, and explains to the community why we're looking at doing this. And that is purely to ensure that we all show, as 15 councillors, we are working together, no matter who we're sitting next to, no matter who we're talking to.
Thank you. Speaker for the amendment, Councillor Johnson.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. I think all councils will realise that we are all aware that it's appropriate and convenient to sit in wards. I was well aware of that. When I first got on council, I thought I'd be sitting with my ward councillors, but I found that for some reason one of them did not want to sit with the other two, so we got split up. But I think the majority of councillors would want to sit with their wards, and this is no different. So this is just allowing a little bit of personal flexibility, not a great deal. And it's correct what Councillor Bowman says, that there may be one or two Pearce Ward councillors. They're going to be either, we're going to get two configurations, one with either one Pearce Ward councillor over there or with two Pearce Ward councillors on either side. So I think that it's reasonable to allow some flexibility. We've had that in the past. It's not caused any problems. And, it's not a school where you're expected to sit in alphabetical order, as I was in the school I went to in England. We sat in alphabetical order in the class. I think, and you don't have to sit in alphabetical order in your workplace, as I'm sure you're aware. I think sitting in wards is a good thing. I think sitting in alphabetical order is not a bad thing. But I think there need to be exceptions, and I think there is an exception, a valid exception in this case. Nevertheless, I think all councillors should do their best to work harmoniously together. I know we are all committed to doing that. We've had a bit of an epiphany. But I think still we need to accept that it needs to come from the individuals concerned, and it should not be imposed on us, and that is why I support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker against the amendment. Any other speakers for or against the amendment? Then, Councillor Richardson, you're right to reply on the amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Thank you for those points of view. I'm happy with whichever way this goes. It's obviously Mr Bowman's happy with his, Councillor Bowman's happy with his choice, and we'll just let the vote be decided.
So, councillors, I'm going to move the amendment as per Councillor Richardson, that Councillor Richardson be seated next to the Midland Guildford ward on the end of the left side where Councillor Kiley's now seated. Okay, those in favour? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 being Councillor... if you just keep your hands up, I'll call the names. Councillor Kiley, Councillor Richardson, Councillor Johnson, Councillor Catalano, Councillor Howlett and Councillor Knight. The amendment is lost, so we move back 9 to 6. All the other councillors are against. So we move back to the substantive motion as it stands, and I'll ask, are there any other speakers for or against the substantive motion? Then Councillor Bowman, you have 3 minutes and you're right to reply. Thank you.
Thank you. I heard we're not school kids or something like that. Well, eager to come to this council chamber for my first meeting yesterday, I think I was the second person here. There was already reserved seats for certain people. I got told not to sit in one seat because that's a certain councillor's seat. Already I started seeing the division before I was sworn in as a councillor. Another councillor in debate said it's too random. Well, I don't know how that definition of random would be, but alphabetical order by ward and alphabetical order by surname is the least most random choice of council table seating. As I said before, we need to be seen as working together, and if we don't like the person sitting next to each other, we must respect each other and each other's views, and I believe this is the start of showing the community that this new council, which I am a part of now as well, is prepared to work together for the benefit of this community and get the best out of this community, and hence the reason why I moved this motion.
Thank you. I'll now put the motion of Councillor Bowman, which is on the board for everyone to see. Those in favour? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's Councillors Johnson, Councillor Catalano with your hand. Oh, so I'll start from the end. It's Councillor Richardson, Johnson, Catalano, Howlett, Knight, Bowman, Councillor Prodovnik, myself, Councillor Congredon, Councillor Zanino, Councillor Parry, Councillor McCulloch. Is your hand up, Councillor Jones? Oh, sorry, I can't see the black. Councillor Jones and Councillor Kiley. The motion is passed. That's part 1. We'll now go to part 2 of the motion of Councillor Bowman. If we can bring that up on the board, please. And that motion is that the Deputy Mayor not be allocated a seat at the head of the table. Instead, the Manager of Governance be situated in that position. It's moved by Councillor Bowman, seconded by Councillor Kiley. Is there anyone against? You wish to debate it, Councillor Henderson?
Yes, I think you should.
Okay. Councillor Bowman, you'll have 5 minutes for that debate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. And to start with, this is no disrespect to the current Deputy Mayor. I put this request in before I knew the outcome of the Deputy Mayor, so it's not determined on who that was. Firstly, I'd like to thank the staff. I asked them to do some comparisons with other local governments, which we've been provided there as well. The position of Deputy Mayor sitting at the head table is a historical issue that used to be a common sighting in local government. Through changes, the importance of the Manager of Governance has increased significantly in local governments. And as a member of the public, when I used to view from a different angle what was going on, I found that the Manager of Governance could not see when councillors were voting, could not see when people in the gallery were trying to get her attention, but also progressive local governments are using the Manager of Governance more and more to assist the Mayor in some of the administrative issues that he or she needs to do when conducting a meeting. I would like to see the change because I think it is the best for the City of Swan. Now, some councillors may think, what happens when the Mayor wants to move a motion and the Deputy Mayor needs to chair the meeting? It's symbolic for the Mayor to step down from the high table with us councillors to debate that. And in return, the Deputy Mayor would ascend to the top table to take control of the meeting. Previously, that didn't happen, with simply switching microphones, and I don't think that is good governance, and I think it is much more important from the symbolic side of things to have that change. Mr Mayor and councillors, I know this is a bit of a difference from what's happened before. Change is sometimes good. We need to look at change. We need to move ahead, and this is one of the things that I think needs to happen in this council chambers.
Thank you. Councillor Kiley is the seconder.
Nothing further to add, Mayor.
Thank you. Speaker against the motion, Councillor Henderson.
Thank you, councillors, Mayor. Okay, first things first. It's not a matter of tradition. It's not a matter of how other councils do it. It's a matter of how it works for us. Importantly, when council seeks advice through the Mayor, they seek that advice from the CEO. The CEO then decides who he's going to send that question to. Now, if it's a matter of governance, that's fine, but it may be others, and that's really the key here. It's really important that we have a very close working relationship with our Mayor and our Deputy, such that they are able to deal with matters before the Council. And having them side by side, and in fact, the Deputy member is just as important in many ways as the Mayor, who's there to back the Mayor up. So I think whilst we've been given options of others, they're all over the place. To me, our system works well. I believe that we should always have information through the CEO, and that makes it much easier to manage. And certainly the manager of the legal side of our business can stand up and see what's happening and get a good indication of the information that's happening in the meeting, and in fact take statistics of all of our meetings, as we know, and has been able to do that effectively without any hindrance. So I think what we have works, and I'd like to see that continue. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Speaker for the motion. Any other speakers for or against the motion? Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Look, we have heard from Councillor Bowman that this is a historical issue. Well, I don't see it as an issue. I actually think there are a lot of advantages. And one of the questions that I'd like to ask, but I won't ask because it's not appropriate, we have to ask ourselves, what would the governance officer actually want? Would the governance officer want to sit up there, or would the governance officer prefer to continue to sit where the governance officer is? Now, it gives the governance officer, sat where the governance officer currently is, the mutual support of the other executive officers, and it also gives the governance officer contact with the minutes clerk and a number of other if you like, administrative matters that the governance officer actually does. So where the governance officer is sat, the governance officer is able to do these things, such as operate the printer, check that the computers are working properly. I think that would be more difficult if the governance officer was sat in the particular position that we're considering placing the governance officer in this council chamber. I don't think it would be so convenient or easy for the governance officer to operate from over there as it is for the governance officer to operate from where the governance officer is sat. And I'm trying to be polite and not put anyone on the spot. I don't think we need to make a change just because one or two other councillors do it differently. We've got a particular configuration of council. We've got practice that works really well, and I think we all agree our governance officer does a great job going into the public gallery, assisting with question times. It's almost like a stage manager on some occasions. Well, it wouldn't be difficult over there. And I think sometimes the governance officer needs to read and needs to be able to check things and monitor what's going on. It's a little bit harder when you're a bit exposed in that position than you are in the position where the governance officer currently sits. So, councillors, I don't see any need to make any change because a few other councils do it differently. I'd like to keep things as they are. I'm not going to ask, and it's not fair of me to try and suggest I know, but I suspect the governance officer would like to continue to sit where the governance officer is. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker for the motion? Speaker against the motion? Question, Councillor Kiley.
Is it possible to get an indication from the governance officer as to whether they think that's a suitable change or whether it is...
Well, it's not up to the governance officer, and I'll defer to the CEO. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Councillors, the seating arrangements within the chambers is your choice and your decision. Myself and my staff will sit anywhere that you would like us to sit within your chambers.
Thank you. Councillor Kong, you indicated you were speaking against the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I think not enough consideration has been given here to other alternatives that could be placed in this chamber. An example easily could be that the governance officer could relocate to where the minute clerk is and on a raised platform to be on the same eye line and within the hearing range of any of the members at the top table, and also to be able to see the councillors in the room that are putting their hand up for advice or questions through the Mayor or through the CEO. And I don't know what the impost would be for the minute clerk to be relocated close to where the equipment is at the end of either the top bench or the end of the side benches. I'm of the opinion there isn't a necessity to have change for change's sake. I think we can just, and as we have done since the development of this chamber quite a number of years ago, have got on quite comfortably with the governance officer, the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor in the current positions.
Thank you. Speaker for the amendment? Any other speakers for or against? No other speakers. Councillor Bowman, you have 3 minutes for your right to reply. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Councillor said it's been working for us. Well, from the view I get in the public gallery when I try and get the attention of the governance manager to give my questions that were all nicely typed up so they didn't have to try and listen to the tape, that didn't work. There's times when the governance manager doesn't see the vote. Another councillor said it needs to be a very close relationship, working relationship between the Mayor and Deputy Mayor. I don't disagree with that, but there needs to be a very close working relationship between all 15 councillors. Also, it was said that the Deputy Mayor is just as important in meeting as the Mayor. I don't agree with that comment. There is only one presiding member at a meeting, and whether that is the Mayor or in his or her absence the Deputy Mayor, the secondary role has no more role to play in a council meeting than the rest of the councillors. I agree. There's no reason to change for the sake of change. I'm not saying it's the sake of changing. I believe, from my experience and my background, that this will be a positive change for the workings of this council chambers, and as a reason why I move this motion.
Thank you. I'm now going to put that motion. Those councillors in favour. I have Councillor Kiley, Councillor Catalano, Councillor Bowman, Councillor Prodovnik. The rest are against. The motion fails. So the seating arrangement will be set up as per the motion that was passed first by Councillor Bowman for our next meeting. I don't want you to move tonight. The next item is any leave of absence, councillors. Any councillor seeking leave of absence? Being nil. Just before we close the meeting, I thank the members of the public gallery for attending. I thank all those watching on the live stream at home, and I'm very hopeful that this council will get down to the business that we're required to do, work as cooperatively as we can together for the mutual interests and the betterment of our community. And I thank everyone for attending, and congratulations to all those newly elected councillors. Well done.